Today I'm going to show you some information pertaining to lacrosse gloves. Right here you have perfectly two good pair of gloves. As you can see, they have one season's use. And as all lacrosse players know, this is famous, the holes. I'm going to show you how to save this glove, patch it, and have it look as good as new, and get at least another season out of it. First, what you want to do is get you some leather, which this can be bought at any 5-a-dime store or Michael's, roughly for about $7–10. Get you some leather thread. This thread is very tough, will not break, guaranteed. Also, you have to use what they call a leather needle. These needles are extra sharp and thick, will not break. You have your gloves, your thread, your leather, scissors, good old nail, and hammer. And these tools are going to make it a lot easier for you when you start to sew. Thing we're going to do, we got to find a piece of leather and fit it over the hole which we want to fit. So as you see here, I've got a difficult part. The most difficult parts of the gloves is the thumb and the index finger. But as you can see, we'll find the leather, and then we have to cut this leather to fit. Once we do the cutting, got it all cut, we can start to make sure it's going to fit over the hole. You lay it over your holes first, lay it out right to make sure she's the way you want it to look. You also have to be careful on the fingers. You don't want it to be too tight, because then it makes the hand, won't give your hand to spread out. So as I do, expand the hand here, or the thumb, to the max. And I can see this is going to be just a little bit too long, but I'm going to leave it like that until I get to that point. Then I'll cut, because I don't know how much I want to use or pull down into the center of the glove. So then once I've got that laid out, now, like I said, the hammer and nail is going to come in handy. This starts your holes. Take the nail and just punch a hole all the way around. This will make it easier to sew. You don't want the holes to be too far apart. Just, if you know anything about stitching, you want it to be close, tight, and at the edge. You don't have to worry about being too far at the edge, because the leather's not going to tear. And once you start stitching, you'll see that this is those holes makes it a lot easier to sew, because you'll be able to go in and out and tie your knots and double stitch and understitch. Right, now once you got your holes punched in, as you can see, you can probably maybe able to see through some of the hole, but on the leather side, the smooth side, you want the suede side out, because that's going to give whoever's handling the glove the grip they necessarily need. Once you got that straight, you want to make sure you got a lot of thread, because you never know how much you may need later on as you're stitching, and you don't want to break the stitch and start over another stitch. Once I can find it's a wax, so sometimes it's difficult to, a wax thread, so sometimes it's kind of difficult to get the, here we go, get the thread going here. There we go. Okay, so once you get that, you want to get a whole lot of it. What I normally do is use this needle, which seems to work pretty good. Once you thread the needle, you get this the way you want it. See, about that long, and you want it more than that, because just in case you have to do a couple loops or knots, you want to be able to have enough. Like I said, the thumb is the hardest part, and I try to make it as tight as possible. So you want to make your first stitch in a reasonable spot. That way you know it's going to come around. So since this is going to be the top part of my glove here on the thumb, I'm going to start, like I said, the thumb's hard. The thumb and the finger is the hardest part. So this is, see, I've cut the suede, cut the leather around the tip of the tongue to round it off. So I'm going to start my stitch at the base of this thumb part on the inside, because I'm going to double stitch it when I come back around. So the first thing I'll do is to get a piece of the stitch on the actual glove. Start down here, try to get it somewhere it's going to be tight, and I'll pull my thread just enough to tighten it up. I'm bleeding a knot, so I'll do that once. I'll come back again and I'll tie it off. That way I know it's going to stay in place once I start stitching. And if any of you took home ed and know how to sew, you understand what I'm saying there. Anyway, getting back to this, you want to line this back up to where you want it and get an idea where your thumb's going to be. Once you got it lined up, you pick your first hole, and I think my first hole is going to be this one right here. It's going to be my first hole, because that should line up with the top of my thumb. So see, once I got that in there, I'm going to line it up, make sure it's tight. So when I line the thumb up, there's no gap or overlapping when I line the thumb up. So with that said, I'm going to check this, and she seems to be lined up right. Now you may need to get some tape to tape back your fingers once you get started, because they can be difficult to get in the way. So if you get some tape, that's alright to tape back the fingers here. Tape back the fingers here. I don't have any tape available right now, but we'll work it out. Anyway, let me see here. Got that line, got the first hole drawn, and now I'm going to start my stitch. Now what I normally use is the over and under stitch. And all you who's seamstress, you'll know what over and unders are. So over and under tucks in there real nice and tight. And this thread is, like I said, it's a wax. So once you get started, it tends to be okay, but it'll take you a moment or two to get started, because like I said, the thumb is the most difficult part to do, the thumb area. Alright, so I got my second stitch, and I want to go into the actual part of the glove, down in the stitch. And sometimes you may have to force it, because you want to make sure it's stitched into the glove. And once you got it in there, it's easier. I say once you get the stitching and sewing, it gets rather easy. It's just getting started is the hardest part, because it's difficult at times. But as you see, I've got this glove going now. I think I'll be able to start rolling here in a minute. If you don't make your holes deep enough, that's when it screws you up, because come to that level with this needle, not the best. That's why I use the nail. But this glove is actually my oldest son's, and I was going through gloves, 2 gloves a season, until I came up with this idea. It saved me at least some money, because I think the way these gloves are designed to wear out, keep you in the store. But as you can see, I'm going to stitch this, and later on in this video see the end results. Oh, by the way, you can use keep a pair of tweezers or something handy too. Sometimes you may want to force the needle through, and it gets tough. It gets tough sometimes, so you may need I use a thread to push it through. Push it right through the hole. I already pre-drilled. But as you see, I'm doing over and under stitch. It's turned out pretty good. I'd rather do the palms, because the palms are real easy to do. And as you see later on, I'll show you a palm I did. I may not have enough thread here too. I'll show you a palm in the other glove I did. Palm's a lot easier because it's laid out, it's right there. You tie the hands back and you go for it. But as you can see, I'm moving right along here now. And you don't want to cut the X off part, the little pieces that were up under here. You want to give that sort of support. Gives a good feeling in the, at least my son says it gives a good feeling in the glove. So he doesn't like me to cut it out. So, like I said, it takes a little bit of time, and after spent the time, a little bit of time you spend doing it, I think it's well worth it, because these gloves actually cost $80, and if I can go through one season, get 2 seasons out of them, I'm happy. Alright, this glove is done. And as you can see, the hole is patched. He's got his space to what he wants. Hole's patched. You can, as you can see, shaft be perfectly fine. This is the glove I did earlier. One of the patches I made on it, all of this was out. And his thumb was out. And you can see there, I patched all that up, and he loves it. He's fine with it. So that's how you can save and get 1 or 2 more seasons. So far, these gloves I've had is going on his second season, or the end of his second season, as you can see. So that's how I did it.